other country, and that is Ukraine, and Ukraine is a victim. These are not the divergences. These are not diplomatic misunderstandings. That is a serious story. Serious number of victims. We did not start this war. We did not wage the war on the territory of Russia. The war is waged only on territory of independent country Ukraine. By the way, this independence and territorial integrity and sovereignty, I believe that these elements are also part of the success of this summit, because they were recognized by all participants of the summit. Majority of the world, and this gives a powerful support for Ukraine. Therefore, when Brazil and China join to the principles that united the whole civilized world today, we will be glad to hear their opinion, even if sometimes they do not correspond to the majority of the world. That is normal, to unite the efforts and to unite the efforts to end the war. Here in Oslo, Channel 24, we are saying that we are ready to hear all the parties of the conflict, and we are preparing for the peace based on the international law. And this international law indeed exists, that is based on the UN Charter and international law. And Ursula von der Leyen also said in the aftermath of the summit that Putin and Russia will be invited to the negotiations when they are ready to move to peace that is based also on the UN Charter. But, Mr. President, we see that Russia does not seek the just war. They today and yesterday, they come up and they are saying about some abnormal territorial realities. So my question is the following: how and under which conditions we will join them to the negotiation process, how we will elaborate the mechanisms, and how much time can it take? Thank you. Thank you so much. They do not want peace, that is a fact, but it is needed to all of us. Fact. Gathering of so many esteemed countries or organizations or missions, religious leaders, says that peace is needed for all of us. That is more in terms of population, in terms of territory, in terms of weaponry. It is more, this world is more in these dimensions than any aggressor. Therefore, we must do our work. Let us not think of Russia. Let's do what we should do. For now, Russia and their leadership are not ready for a just peace. That's a fact. In contrary, the loud statements say that. Firstly, I believe that, and I do not want to count their tragic historical mistakes, starting from the occupation of Crimea and Donbass and then full-scale invasion. Those are their mistakes, but that is also a mistake to disrupt and undermine the efforts of the world regarding a just peace, even for us together. And to come up with such message that they are ready to end the war, but a very serious mistakes. That a man offers Ukraine to retreat from the territories, our independent territories that are under our control. So the person that wants to end the war, such person can speak of anything, even about the frozen conflict, which does not suit you, but suit us. But here a person provoked and, to be honest, threatened the whole world, saying that it does not want to end the war, but wants to further capture the territory. So that is a huge mistake that is useful for us. Their message, and all their messages here behind the curtains, we will not name the countries, because almost all the countries, they have said that with such one message, Putin has passed to the whole world that everything that he has talked and said, that his desires about peace, they were just multiplied by 0. Even all countries have said that. Even the countries that had different views or have different views. And I think that sometimes mistakes of the enemy are also a success. And therefore, what can happen next? Working groups. I told you the list of countries with whom we have started to work. There will be meetings on the NSA level, on the level of our teams. Plans will be elaborated first and foremost in these 3 points, and there are a lot of there was a lot of preparatory work done. Some of it was not public, but there are no big secrecies there. But we will have a concrete plan, and I believe that after all these meetings that we must organize properly and must organize everywhere. For sure, we are part of Europe, geographically and mentally, but it is important that all these meetings are on various continents, on territories of countries that perhaps are not united with us by borders, but are united with us in values, and that is very important. Therefore, such meetings will take place in Africa, in Latin America, in Asia, in Europe, and we are now directing our efforts on this. Afterwards, we will have a plan, joint plan. This summit, I apologize for I will start with that, and for that I'm returning to what I have said already. This summit says that international support is not weakening. It is strong. In contrary, I believe that a lot of other states have joined. Regarding the support, it is different. You know that journalism is also a weapon. And your word is also a weapon that defends truth and defends our country now, our values. And therefore, the countries are joining, not only with this or that military package. There is humanitarian support, there is political support. And the word of the world's majority is important to us to put pressure on Russia for it to end this unprovoked, unjust war. You can put pressure in 2 ways. The first one is diplomatic, yes? And with what we can, with what we use, the diplomatic path, peace summit, meetings, joint plan, that is this path. And as regards the second path, you are right. In this, strong defense, strong army, resilient Ukrainian soldier on the battlefield that is defending his family, his country, his statehood, and that is very important. The supplement has been approved in the United States. There was a package approved by Nordic countries. There was an important package from the United Kingdom. The issue is indeed in timeline. The issue is in that, not because it is not that we become weaker and we speak about peace. We have always said about peace. Almost 2 years have passed since we have suggested the peace formula on G20 at the height of the war. And at the height of the war, at the peak of the war, we were speaking about peace. We wanted to end this war. We wanted the world to pressure Russia and end this war. And cease to kill us, to kill civilians. On this summit, many countries, as you have said, wanted the involvement of the representatives of Russian Federation. And at the same time, the majority of the countries do not want to shake hands with them. Just for you to know. So there are various opinions in the world. And it is absolutely just that there are different opinions, and they have the right to be loudly stated. Therefore, consensus was elaborated, because we clearly understand what we are talking about. Russia, I do not want to repeat it, but if you ask about it, Russia has blocked any initiatives even before the full-scale invasions. In our working group, we had around 200 meetings in Minsk format where no single question was solved. All the blockings were from Russia's side. Why? Because it was not beneficial for them to end the war. And the proof of that is the full-scale invasion. And not only the evidence of that, but that is their true desire. Therefore, we have selected the right process, the peace summit, and then the elaboration of a respective detailed plan. And then when there is this proposal, then Russia will not be able to block even the start of the peace plan. And if one has the detailed plan, then this approved plan will be passed to the representatives of Russian Federation, and then we with you will see if they are ready to end the war. These are the conditions of the dialogue with the occupiers. Thank you for the question. Firstly, not signing, but joining too, because when people join to communique, it says that communique is open, and even countries that are now thinking of joining, they have certain consultations at home, and there are other countries that have been represented on the other level. They will need to come back to this topic, and there are various representatives and different opinions, and we need to respect the opinion of all people if they're not occupiers, it seems to me. Therefore, the potential quantity will be increasing, and that is understandable. There is also a number of countries who could not be on the highest level, and these countries will join to communicate. In any case, we will see. Regarding the numbers, they are understandable. All 84 countries joined immediately. That is a very serious result, and I believe that is a great success. As regard the potentially problematic countries, I believe that the whole world has not potential but real problem with Russian Federation. Not the whole world has understood that for now, because it is we that we have at war. Our neighbors understood it very well, because tomorrow they will have the war. And all Europe absolutely understood everything. That the day after tomorrow, Comrade Putin, he will come, because that is his goal. And it is very important that what the representatives of African continent say, of Asia, that blockade of the Black Sea, it was not Ukraine who blocked it. Everybody recognizes that Russia blocked and brought hunger, poverty, and problems to the territory of these countries, where it is just the same human beings who live. And that is, I believe, is the biggest problem. And the fact that certain countries, they have their view on the war in Ukraine. It is difficult for them there is a great, long-lasting historic influence of the Soviet Union on relationship with these people, and all that has its influence, of course. Truth will anyways find the way and approach to anybody. Speaking about the plans on the battlefield, I will not address this issue today. Yes, if to be honest, our task for today is not to give Russia successes in their offensive operations in Kharkiv region, and I think that now situation is better. It has stabilized thanks to our warriors, and I believe that in the near future, thanks to our partners, there will be strengthening of our warriors, and there will be answers to the aggressors on the battlefield. These answers will be stronger. As regards the war, I would not think what will happen 2025, etc. It all depends on two factors. The first one is our might on the battlefield, and the second is our diplomatic work. As regards the diplomatic work, if we succeed in everything or almost everything, we will reach the second summit. On the second summit, you are asking what will be with Russia on the second summit. It will demonstrate that their presence there will demonstrate their willingness to peace, that they have decided to end the war. I do not want to play with words. They decided to, or they were forced by the world. For us, Ukrainian citizens, it is... We are fighting for the world to make them. But for us, the most important thing is the result. And the result is the end of this war. And as regards negotiations with Russia, I think that I stated it in detail. Russia can start the negotiations with us tomorrow, not waiting for anything. If they pull out from our legal territories, that is respect to United Nations Charter. Thank you for the question. How are you tired? How are you getting tired? Just to speak in the same language. How do you feel tiredness? How do you feel that you become tired? Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for you are not getting tired and are helping us. And thank you to your leadership. We will know who is getting tired in here. We do not have the issue of fatigue. Our issue is survival. It is survival because Nazi Putin has come to destroy us. He has this idea X. A person arrived to your apartment with knife and machine gun. What will you do? You will treat him, dance, entertain, or you will defend your children. What is your first reaction? That is our reaction. We have an understandable human reaction. We are very grateful that we are being helped. But I do not believe that because of this aid, one can get tired, because this is not the price for the war, not that price for the democratic life that is in Europe. I do not envy. I just want to tell you that Putin will not end the war in Ukraine. Believe me. Believe me, it will be the same as it was before the Second World War. The same thing will be in the future. He will proceed, and then nobody will think about fatigue. Everybody in Europe will be thinking about survival, about migration. Yes, that is what will be. Therefore, we need to simply stop this person in any way. Today we are now speaking about the peace process. We are suggesting peace process. Let's do it diplomatically. People in Ukraine, it is difficult for them. We, all people in Ukraine, we understand how difficult it is. And in any case, because of the war, everyone is getting tired. And that is a fact, that is understandable. But this is the issue of survival, you understand? He entered, he took lives of people with his military. You witnessed it. They were raping women, children, stolen 20,000 kids. Imagine. Somebody has recently said, yes, it says David and Goliath. You just need to find some understanding. Shall we forget about 20,000 men? People? That is, we are speaking only about children. The same is about adults and with these crimes. How one can forgive this? I truly don't understand. And you know what is important? It is important why somebody whose kids are at home tells us what to do when our children are located somewhere, kidnapped. That is unjust. Therefore, it would be much desired that the world is not tired. thank you for so many questions from Chinese side. And no response for now. We respect China, and we have always respected territorial integrity and sovereignty of your state. Everything that we wanted is China to respect territorial integrity of Ukraine and our sovereignty. And we believe, we consider your nation, your values, your life, and your choice. We respect it, and we would want China to do the same. Nothing more than that. And preferably no less. China is a very serious state, serious economy that has political and economic influence on Russia. Truly has influence, and I believe that China could help us. And therefore, I would want these or those proposals that Chinese party have, so that they are in our dialogue. I cannot receive proposals just via media, you know. That is not right, because we're speaking about the end of the war, the thousands of victims, conquest of territories, burnt homes. I cannot take seriously something that, with all respect to journalists, that leader of this or that state or his representatives pass to media. We're speaking about the end of the war. As regards China, Ukraine never said that China is our enemy. And I ask you not to use such things. I always say that Ukraine has one enemy, Putin, because he attacked us. As regards friends, then I believe that friends are those who are helping when it is difficult. And I would want China to be a friend for Ukraine. China and Ukraine have been serious economic partners. I say have been, not because have stopped economic relations, but because Putin blocked Black Sea and the biggest trade volume in agricultural sector we had with via Black Sea. And therefore he stopped and he decreased the trade volume between our states. That is very important. Next, when I said that China is an instrument, I said precise things. Putin, disinformationally or in other way, no matter how, did everything so that representatives of the state of China worked with other diplomatic establishments of other countries so that the latter cancel their presence and support of Ukraine and join to Chinese-Brazilian proposals. And it seems to me that is not right. Therefore, I underscore once again, each and every country has the right for their position, but not breaking the other. That is what I think. We need to respect one another. That is everything that I want, so that we respect. All I want is peace to my country. Mr. President, greetings. On such high diplomatic level, I want to recall the words that when the diplomats are talking, the guns are silent. Today, the guns have not been silent in Ukraine. The missiles were striking. In connection with that, I wanted to ask how diplomacy can or may force Russia's guns to silence and to force them sit by the table and have a civilized dialogue, and can only diplomacy achieve that? Diplomats talk, guns are silent. Well, then Putin is no diplomat. Then we need to look for other instruments except from diplomacy. Strong army is needed. We need to be strong. These people understand only strength. I see only such ways. Strengthening on the battlefield, and in parallel, strengthening of international policy. That is it. As regards the demonstration of strengthening of diplomacy, I believe as of today, we have a good start at the summit here. There is aid. There are serious packages. Is it enough to win? No. Is it late? Yes. Will there be strengthening of these packages? We are working on this. We are working on a daily basis. Thank you. To stabilize the political situation in any country, we cannot do that, because we cannot intervene in any processes inside other countries. That is honestly. President Macron did not tell me that now that there is a more difficult situation and that the aid will become smaller. We will believe your president. I trust him. Thank you so much. I believe that Putin is fighting only for himself, honestly. He understands that he's isolated. Isolated, not fully. You are right in this. Unfortunately, there are people who are still balancing, despite all the terror that he brought, not only to our state. There are many countries in the world, in Africa, Syria, everywhere. Nonetheless, there are people who are balancing, unfortunately, and he and he understands, in my subjective opinion, maybe it's not objective, he's fighting solely for himself. How can he fight against the isolation that he has now, because he's no longer a member of G8, he's not a player, and for China he's also, to be honest, not a player. I'm sure in that. We have raised this issue. I'm sure in that. They all understand that he will end either respecting the international law, or he will attempt some radical things that will lead anyways to his isolation. And therefore I believe that he is thinking about bipolarity of the world. He is trying to divide the world in this way because he cannot exit the isolation. So he needs to make everything that somebody joins him. And our task is to do everything so that skepticism, let skepticism be skepticism and not take part of Russia. Our task is to make everything so that his society understands his isolation, so that he has pressure inside Ukraine, and then there will be an opportunity to end this war diplomatically. Although I think that he has in plans, he thinks that he is capable of dividing Europe and other alliances via provoking the invasions to other countries, including NATO, for indeed trying to break the unity, you understand, because people will react different ways to this. We need not allow that. We must not allow that, and Ukraine is a key. Unfortunately, we pay with our lives, but nonetheless, until Ukraine stands, the world has chances to prevent the global war. Because no ultimatums are negotiations. With these ultimatums, Putin arrived on tank during the full-scale invasion, surrounded our capital, many of the regions of our country, occupied them, and I'm not mentioned, I've already said about all the atrocities. And then they have demonstrated the ultimatum. Nothing has changed. And then there were many of these ultimatums. They were different, and to be honest, they do not differ that much from this last, as colleague has said, from the last proposals. He said this way about the proposals that Putin had a couple days ago, because he has no proposals. He has simply ultimatums. And ultimatums give him the opportunity to make pauses. And to be honest, Minsk agreements, those were ultimatums, and that was a frozen conflict. And he needed that pause to prepare to the full-scale invasion. Therefore, any ultimatums for Putin, because he needs pauses to prepare his military, train them, because he has lost the already trained army.